Hey there, everybody. It's Eagle 1023 coming to you from Tampa, Florida. It is Monday, December 18th, 2017, 6:19 p.m. We're on the Eastern Standard Time. Listen, on Saturday, I don't know if people are aware of this, but on Saturday, it was a very important day in world history. And why is that? Because it was the first time, it was official disclosure day. The disclosure of the UFO presence engaging our planet. There are stories that came out that were promoted by the mainstream media, and there's a purpose behind that. I'll get to that later. But why is it an important day? Because it's the first time in the history of the United States that a military organization, the Pentagon, released the truth about their study of UFOs and are now releasing videos and allowing information to come out. They're declassifying videos and data that they are releasing to the public. It's a slow drip, and there's an agenda to this, but I'll get to that later, and maybe in a later video. But so it's not all light. But the fact that this information is being released, the fact that the people finally know unequivocally that we are being engaged by extraterrestrial and extra dimensional forces is a huge step in our evolution. And I don't care how the information gets out there. We need to see the consciousness with this truth, this reality, and we need to move on. We need to grow up, basically. So, and I see this now. We're more likely to see this growth personally and spiritually as a result of this information being leaked. Yes, it is going to shatter so many people's paradigms of their reality systems. That's too bad. Sorry. We have to evolve, and we can't continue sitting on the couch, eating away life and expecting to be healthy. It doesn't work like that. We have got to, as a collective consciousness, we have got to evolve to the next stage, the cosmic being. So anyway, let me show you this. This was from Saturday's story. And again, do not underestimate the historic significance of this day. December 12, 16, 17 will go down in history as the day that the tables were turned, and this is a good thing. Look at this. This is Gizmodo, a very popular site. You got NPR, you've got Politico, the New York Times. This is where the story comes from. It was their front page story, and I'll pull that up here. The Pentagon spent 22 million on a shadowy blah blah blah, and they're not saying alleged. They're saying they spent it. All these controlled news sources that controlled by the 13 families are reporting the truth for once. Again, there's an agenda, but it's the first time in human history that this has happened. So to all of you that have made fun of those of us who are ufologists or have studied ufology, have experienced things, this is your wake-up call. I'm not here to criticize anybody that use the tinfoil hat or conspiracy theory labels, the nonsense. Each of their own time and in their own way, but I am glad that the truth is being released. These are the Business Insider, SBS, Slate News, Richmond News is down here, www.ohio.com, the military.com daily. It's everywhere, and you can scroll this page over and over and over again, and you'll find different news sources from the far left to the far right to the in between to alternative news. Everybody is reporting on the story because it's that important. This is a kick in the consciousness. Thank you. Here's the story: glowing auras and black money, the Pentagon's mysterious UFO program. And this is a video that comes with this release of this information, and I'm going to let it play here. I'm going to let it play and let you listen to what they have to say. I may comment as it's playing here. Very interesting. This is from an F-18, by the way. 2 fighter pilots. Look at that thing. Look at it. It's going to start rotating. It's rotating. Yeah. Okay, and then they're correcting. They had an earlier version of this video misstated parts of the conversation between the pilots who had counted, and it was talking about when he said it wasn't a drone. He said something else, but they've corrected it since. Let's read a little bit of this. Washington. And this was on Saturday, the 16th of December 2017, a day that will live in infamy. The $600 billion annual Defense Department budgets the $22 million spent on the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. This, by the way, is the program. The Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program is the program that they spent the money on. It was almost impossible to find, which was how the Pentagon wanted it. You're not allowed to know this information. That's what they believed up until now, up until Saturday. This was all conspiracy theory. This was all classified. And I wonder if people ever ask themselves, well, if it's so secret, so classified, what are they hiding? If there is no there, no UFO experience, what is it that needs to be so classified? You know what I'm saying? And we're talking hundreds of thousands of documents that have been redacted and all about this subject that doesn't exist. Anyway, for years, the program investigated reports of unidentified flying objects, according to Defense Department officials, interviews with program participants, and records obtained by the New York Times. It was run by a military intelligence official, Luis Elizondo, on the 5th floor of the Pentagon Sea Ring, deep within the building's maze. The Defense Department has never before acknowledged the existence of the program, which it says it shut down in 2012. BS. But its backers say that while the Pentagon ended funding for the effort at that time, the program remains in existence. That's the truth, okay? For the past 5 years, they say, officials with the program have continued to investigate episodes brought to them by service members while also carrying out their other Defense Department duties, okay? It's a shadowy program, and this story goes on. It's very interesting. Mr. Bigelow is the guy that got the $22 million. He was a friend of Senator Harry Reid. This is the senator, longtime senator, Democratic senator from Nevada, who got the funding and kept it secret. If you get a chance, go and watch Mr. Bigelow's interview from the 60 Minutes broadcast in May. It's pretty fascinating. He just basically comes out and says that, yeah, UFOs are real. And there are visitors that have visited us, and this man is in a position to know, like so many others, whistleblowers and others that have revealed this truth. Anyway, a fascinating film. What we've heard from Tom DeLonge, and what I want to do, I want to point something else out here in this article. It talks about the gentleman. Let's see, who was it? I'm looking for it. Let's see, Luis Elizondo, okay? Why is this important? Well, Luis Elizondo is a member of To the Stars, which is Tom DeLonge, who used to be the front man of Blink-182. He's involved in this. This is a deep state project, by the way. This is the dark cabal at work. They're revealing this information, but there's a narrative. It's to control the narrative, and there's a purpose behind this, and I'll get into that. But this is really cool because it's revealing truths, and that's always a good thing, no matter if the dark reveals it or the light. Beamed energy propulsion, we already have it. Advanced electrogravitic propulsion, we already have it. That's why this is a false flag kind of story, because they know better. They know that we already have these craft, we have this technology, we have the cures for cancer. They know this, but they're presenting you a narrative. They're presenting you a fiction. In trying to convince you that they're seeking to understand all of this. We don't have it yet. That's not true. It's a lie. It's a blatant lie. And then they're mixing entertainment with this, because that's how they get you guys interested. They want you to be interested. Revolutionary is too mild of a word. That's true. That was Steve Justice, former director of advanced programs at Lockheed Martin Skunk Works. They have built these exotic craft, including the TR-3B and the TR-5B, which exist today. And they do regular trips off planet. So, and let me show you some of these names. Former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence, former Senior Intelligence Officer with the CIA, former Advanced Systems Director for Lockheed Martin Skunk Works, former Director of Programs to Investigate Unidentified Aerial Threats. That's this guy, this position here, this former Director of Programs is This gentleman here, Luis Elizondo. Okay, he left in protest because he said that he was tired of all the secrecy. No, he left because he was directed to leave. None of these people that worked former CIA, former intelligence, ever retire. They are doing a job, and let's not lose sight of that truth. This is not a group of white hats, I can promise you that. Although I don't know their intent, they may believe that they're doing the right thing, but it's quite the contrary. They're setting up a meme. They're setting up a narrative for you to follow, and don't fall for it, is what I'm saying. Anyway, that was the story. There was also two other articles that were leaked. I think one was by the Boston Globe about two Navy officials who saw this incident, not this one, but another incident, and another Navy seaman that was involved in another incident. What I'm pointing out here is that this is a slow bleed. They are seeding the collective consciousness to accept this reality that we're not alone in the universe, that we have been visited, and in fact, they are our creators. If you understand these Sumerian texts and understand the history of the Anunnaki, you know that we were created in their image and their likeness. It was Enki that created us. And Enlil is the god of the earth and skies. He's the god of the Old Testament, of the Quran, and the god of Judaism, the Abrahamic god. Yes, that was an ET. His name was Enlil, and he was very harsh, like the gods that they portray in these good books. So something to keep in mind. That's a whole nother topic of discussion that could go on for a week. But it's fascinating. Those of you that are interested, and you're curious, intellectually curious, look it up. Look up the Anunnaki. Look up the Sumerian tablets. Read the Epic of Gilgamesh. Just for shits and giggles, read that. The Epic of Gilgamesh, I think you would be fascinated to learn some truths that you were never made aware of. A lot of you that are watching this probably are aware of it. Yeah, I want to thank Linda Moulton Howe for all that she's done. She had reported on this live, basically, on this historic DoD UFO confirmation. And it's a really fascinating interview. What I may do here is pause this recording and then go ahead and submit a portion of this interview from her. It's that important. She's really excited about this, but she's also saying be aware. In fact, I'll do that when I start this video again. I'm almost done with the 15 minutes here, and I'll start that at the beginning of the next segment. But another one here. This is Dark Journalist, the Black Senator Reid, and fake. They're basically calling it fake, too. Fake disclosure. This is Jordan. This is Daniel List, by the way. He's incredible, too. These are the people that I look to. This is Jordan over at Destroying the Illusion. Excellent ideas. This is a great channel. I really respect and admire this young man. I'm not as pro. I'm not as pro administration as he is. He tends to think that Donald Trump was put in this position to reveal all this darkness, but I'm not buying it. I think the evidence suggests that he's part of the deep state. And David Icke, he says reptilians are about to attack. I haven't watched this, but I'm certainly going to. He's been right for so many years. A lot of things that he suggested decades ago have come to pass. I don't know. Maybe he's suggesting this is part of this alien invasion that they're setting up, the deep state setting up, and that's why they're revealing this truth to you now, so they could plant the seeds that we're not alone, and then all of a sudden we get attacked, and they can blame the evil aliens, and therefore set up the Strategic Defense Initiative on a permanent basis, continuing the military-industrial complex's program of annihilating anything that doesn't that can make them a profit. Basically, they'll annihilate anything that'll make them a profit, because human life has no value, and God forbid cosmic life, that shall have no value either. So, but here's Dave's disclosure. Tom DeLonge, this is the Blink 182 group, lead singer, and he created this To the Stars, which I mentioned earlier. And it's really fascinating. I may play a part of this here as well, but this video that he has at the top, it's a really good sales pitch, I have to tell you, but it is deep state. So anyway, I'm going to stop this here, and I'll be back, okay? This 15 minutes is almost up, and I'll start the second section.